In this video, I'm going to revise you how to test the web application for odd and even sort. First, we have created a dynamic web project, and in that dynamic web project, we have created the new file .html. This is the HTML file. This doc type will is telling you the details of this HTML file. W3 schools are having the URL. For HTML4, we use this URL. This is a DTD document type definition of the HTML4. Then this is a start tag of a HTML file. In the head section, we are showing the meta information, which is telling the content are the text/HTML type, and it is character set is the ISO 8859. Title is the insert title here. Is the default title that I have taken here. Then in the body section, I have declared a form, and in that form, enter number is a label in which I'm having a text area which is having the name NOS, and the ID is NOS. 3 rows and 3 columns are there. End of the text area, and after that, I have taken an input type submit button which is having a value sort. So on that button, label sort will get displayed there. So this is my HTML file. On the form, click submit button. It will call the new file.jsp in action. Now the code that I have used for the new file.jsp is an JSP code. This is an page directive that is telling the language is Java, content is type is the text/HTML, character set is the Unicode text format 8, page encoding is the Unicode text format 8. This is a doc type for the HTML4. Basically, you can use an HTML5 also doc type, no issue. In the HTML, in the head section, I'm declaring here the meta information, which is giving the HTTP equivalent content type. Content are the text/HTML Unicode text format. Then in the body section, I have written the logic that we are getting this request from the HTML previous HTML page, and that request will be having numbers that are sent as a request parameter with the get parameter NOS. Since this is a string type, so here we have written a logic to convert this string to the integer, and for sorting we have written an odd sort and even sort. Now for that web application which is having an odd and even sort in an JSP, we want to carry out the testing. So in order to carry out this testing in the Eclipse, we have to create a Java project, and in Java project we will be adding a class odd even test dot Java. Now odd even test dot Java class will be doing the testing part. So for this testing, we will require a Selenium package. In previous tutorial, I have explained you the relevance of this package and as well as the relevance of this web element. So we have created the variables. These are nothing but the objects of the web element, class element and the element one, and the string variable here for storing the parameter that I'm getting. Now here I return the logic for performing the odd sort. If I'm having an input that is invalid input, so it should generate an invalid thing. Now in my Java project, basically here I'm having this imported Selenium jar files, these web elements that I have declared here. Now I'm having the two functions. One is the multiply positive function, in which I'm creating the object of the driver class, and I'm opening the Firefox driver. Now here I have given passed the URL driver.get, and here the URL that I have passed is a URL of the HTML file, and the dynamic web project odd even sort is there, and I'm running this web project on the Apache Tomcat web server. So it is having http:/localhost port number 8080, and the name of my project dynamic web project is odd and even sort, and in that project I'm having the input.html file there, which is having a text area. So what I'm want to do here, I would be passing the elements that I want to sort automatically to this HTML page. So in order to pass the numbers to that particular text area, I am using the object element of the driver class, and here we are having this web element object, and I'm using here a driver class dot find element, and I'm getting the text area here by xpath, and I'm locating here the input name, which is having the numbers name, and to that text area I'm passing the first key, that is I want to pass the number 5. Now I have passed the number 5 to this particular web element. So here I can use the get text method with this particular find web element, and I will check that the value that I have forwarded 5 is correctly forwarded or not, and I'm storing this get text value in the string str variable, and I'm printing that string on the console there by using the system.out.println. Now what it is doing, it is testing whether I am passing the correct value to the web application or not. Then the second value that I have passed is the by using element1 dot send element comma I have passed. Then I have passed here the next element. That next element is 2. So for passing the next value, I have written the code for this one. So element 1 dot send key 2 I have passed here, then comma and then 0. So 5 comma 2 comma 0, these values I am passing here. And the last line, what it is doing, driver dot find element by xpath, it is locating the value sort. So sort is the label that I have given to the submit button there, and or when I'll click on this particular button, it should call the particular JSP page, and that JSP page should do the sorting of the values that I have passed to the HTML page. Now this is another function, multiply negative. Again I have created the second instance of the Firefox driver. Again I have passed the URL of this HTML page of the dynamic web project, and I have passed here the number 5 comma here I want to do the negative testing, so I have passed the character C here comma 0. So 5 comma C comma 0 values I have passed here, and on click it should do the testing for the negative part. Now in the main section of this Java project, I have created the object of the odd even sort B, new odd even test, and B dot mul positive, it will be calling the positive test case, and B dot mul negative will call the negative test case. Now I want to run this particular Java project. So first I will show you how to create a dynamic web project. So new dynamic web project will create a dynamic web project. So here I have given here the project name is odd even sort, and it is target runtime is Apache Tomcat. So odd even web sort logic I have written there. Then I have executed it, that JSP page as well as HTML page I have executed. Then I have uh, to create a simple Java project there. So to create a Java project, I have to click on Java project, and the name of the project is the odd even test is the name of my Java project. It will ask me to open a Java perspective, because previously J2EE perspective was open. Now it is asking me whether to open a Java perspective. I am saying yes, and here I am writing the code that I have explained you for the Selenium, and here it is giving me the error. So it is required to configure the jar file for this particular project. To configure the jar file for this project, I have to right click on the project name, in the build path I have to configure this Selenium jar file. In the previous tutorial, I have explained you how to configure this Selenium jar file in the build path. When I configure this Selenium jar file, basically it will remove all the errors that are there. Previously, I have executed this JSP page. This is the URL of the executed HTML file as well as JSP. So the here I'm testing with the HTML code. So I'm pasting this URL that I'm running on the web server Apache Tomcat. This URL should be appropriate there. That for the testing purpose, I'm checking that part whether I'm passing the appropriate URL. I have written the code for the testing, and after this, I want to check how this code is executing. So to execute this code, what I want to do, I want to run this particular odd even test Java project. So to run this odd even test Java project, I have to right click there for the project, and after right clicking, I will run this Java application. And when I'll run this Java application, it will execute this particular project. It will open the instance of the Firefox, and in that instance it will pass the values to the HTML page. So I have run the Java application. It will open the instance of the Firefox. To the instance, it have executed the new file.html. I'm passing some values. So this is the positive test case in which we are performing the testing, positive testing. Now we are calling the negative test case function. So it will send the negative values, and negative values is giving the invalid input. So in this video, I have revised you how to create a dynamic web project for an odd even sort, in which I'm having a HTML and the JSP page. Then I have created the Java project. In that I have written a code, Selenium code for testing. In that I have, or in this Java code, I have carried out the automation testing by Selenium in Firefox browser. I hope you have understood the many of the